Hello, everyone. We are back with another episode of From My Experience podcast. I'm your host, Rob. I gotta be honest with you, I'm not feeling the best right now. I don't know what's going on. Got a little bit of a headache. I'm tired. I don't know what's happening, but we are here. Shout out to all of you. If you are listening, if you are subscribed, if you have liked a page, if you have shared a status, if you have left a comment, thank you so much. Y'all are the reason why we do this. It is personally fulfilling, but we love to share this information with you to help motivate you into the next level of what you're trying to get done. We also hope that 2021 is treating you well and that you are pushing past the negativity into the positivity and that you're well on your way to accomplishing your goals. You can support the podcast by shopping with our affiliates. We have Garner's Garden that sells 100% organic products, hair care, skin care, oral health care, things of that nature. Check them out in our description. There's a link for you. Acre Gold. If you've ever thought about investing in physical bars of gold, you can do it on a subscription basis with Acre Gold. Once you have paid enough for the current price of gold, depending on the size that you have subscribed to, they will send it to you in nice, discreet packaging to your home, and you can do with it what you will. That link is also in the description. Retro Mimi, those of you who are gamers like myself, you can purchase a handheld open source device. You can put whatever programs you want on it and take your gaming on the go. Excuse me. Also, we have Black Water. So if you want some flavor in your water, you want to try something different, try Black Water. The water that is literally black. Check it out. Link in the description. And our newest affiliate, Jotforms. Yes, Jotforms. There'll be a link in the description. That is actually what we use when we book guests. We put a form on there that we send to them, and they fill everything out. You can create custom forms on there, and once someone fills it out, it comes back to your email, and you conveniently have it at your disposal. So beautiful. Love Jotforms. Those are our affiliates. Now, I am not alone today. I have someone with me who has been putting their foot up my ass lately. I'm not gonna say that I don't deserve it, but I have the co-host with the most, Miss Jessica Fountain, aka J-Fo. Hello, how you doing? What it do? What it be?
Hello, world. I am great. I, as always, very happy to be here. And I am doing well. I have no complaints. I just wrapped a big project. So my 2021 is off to a great start. And just, adjusting, pivoting as needed, realigning.
You gonna tell them what the big project is, or you're not revealing it yet?
Sure. I am, let's see, how do you tell the big project? So I own a lash studio. For those of you that do not know, lash and wellness studio, and called Lash and Soul. And so we just had a big marketing branding shoot um, for the studio. It's the first time I've ever done official branding shoot, and it went really, really, really well. I mean, everybody collaborating with other artists, from the photographer to the makeup artist to um, I don't know. I want to call him a floral stylist because he did what he.
Mm.
His name is Mikael. Well, his name is Marquis, and the name of his business is Mikael's Florist. But what he can do with flower arrangements, floral arrangements, is just absolutely stunning. Like, I told him um, I wanted wellness and beauty, and he brought wellness and beauty in a flower arrangement. So it was really awesome. My models, everyone that participated, my assistant, Morgan, um, I couldn't have asked for a better shoot. So it went really well. and now it's on to the next project. So, you know, we've been talking about rest, and that's pretty much what this week has been for me. When I come off of these big pieces, I like to dial it back a little bit, reset, see where did I hit the mark, anything that I might not have fully pushed through. I like to make a note of that. Um, Even while you were in introductions, I was looking at some of my notes on my Keep, and they need to be archived. So I did that really quickly and deleted them. So, yeah, it's a realigning week for me.
Y'all see how she double dipping? So yeah, I guess we might as well start with that. One of the beautiful things that I love about being organized and having structure with the podcast is creating a space and creating room for us to have a break. The way that the show is set up, and because Jessica has definitely helped with scheduling and integrating, we are ahead. We have interviews in the stash that y'all have not heard yet. So when she needs a break, or if I need a break, or if we need a break, we can go without recording. We can just take that time off. And that's what we've been doing. We've taken a little bit of time off. Some of it was intentional, some of it was unintentional. And those were the episodes that you all got, which is a beautiful thing because sometimes you need a break and you don't even know it. I've always been a super duper hard worker. I've always had one, two, or three jobs at a time, and I've always felt this weird pressure of you got to keep going, you got to keep going, you don't want to miss out. But I also realized about myself, something I realized about myself as I got older is I do not operate well when I'm not well rested. You'll never get 100% of me if I'm not well rested. And I listen to my body, especially now that I'm older, people are passing away. I don't have any major health concerns, but things like that, it just makes me say, you need to sit down, get you some rest. You don't have to be this super duper push through, muscle through, I gotta fight through. Some people are like that. I'm not gonna knock it, but nah, that's not me. If I ain't feeling it, I'm like, yo, I got a migraine, or I have a headache, or I'm not feeling well. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. So it also, like, much like Jessica, I've been cleaning up emails, cleaning my physical space, my apartment, move some things around. uh, I gotta wash. My mom bought me a comfort, well, kind of like a comforter set for Christmas. I ain't even washed it yet. It's still in the plastic, and I need to wash that. I'm gonna do that. So just like tightening some things up, and not kind of having the pressure of quote unquote performing on your shoulders. It feels good, but it also feels good to be bike. Um, so yeah, definitely knowing when to take that break and when to rest. I actually need to start. We should start actually scheduling breaks for ourselves, like looking and say, all right, we're gonna take this time off or this time off. But we can get to
Well,
that later.
objection, we do.
What did I say? I?
No, you said we. I meant we as in my entity of Jessica Renee. That's on my schedule every Sunday from 7 to 2 p.m. It says self-care. So I don't schedule with people unless it feels like self-care with them. But if you give me any vibe of a meeting or it's not fun and it didn't feel like I was going to be fulfilled in a self-caring way, then you're not going to be scheduled on 7 to 2 p.m. on Sunday. But I think you were talking about when you said we as in the podcast. But yeah, like it's really important to schedule. I've let me dial it back. I've learned with scheduling the life that you want, that ideal life, whatever that looks like. If you're like, I really want to make time to one day like go do yoga, or I've always wanted to sew. Like those are the things you put on your schedule first, and then you build your schedule out from that. So like your your goals, your personal goals, your professional goals, and all of that. And rest is a big part. LeBron James taught me that. He
LeBron
everything he
James.
schedules, everything he schedules back from his sleep,
Oh, interesting. Didn't know
because he
that.
makes sure that, because he's like you, sleep is very, like, he's not functional if he doesn't get sleep. So his assistants, everybody knows that whatever he's doing it's scheduled sleep first, and then everything else is blocked around that.
That is so dope because it's so funny people's philosophies and theories about that. Oh, you sleeping, you relaxing, bro. That shit helps. Like y'all have no idea how
It
much a good
it
nap can help you sometimes, man. And it's healthy. Like your body needs that time to shut down, rest, and relax, and to recharge. It's so important.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And the recharge is so crazy. Like sometimes when I'm not sleeping properly, and I get the rest, the thing that I was stressing and like flipping through in my mind, like, oh, I can't do it. I don't know how to figure this out. And I did it like, and when I get to good rest, it your body repairs that thought process, and you'll pop up just have an idea. And it's because your mind has had a chance to reboot, similar to like our computers. Like you asked me, when's the last time you restarted your router? When's the last time that you shut down your computer and allowed it to
Mm-hmm.
go through that full cycle of recharge before you just started hopping on it and using it again? Like, yes, it's on, but you have to recognize that our computers are doing things in the background that
Facts.
we don't have any idea, and our brains are doing the same
Yep.
thing, which is why meditation, grounding, like taking a bath, which is what I needed today, that just really pushed me up. I knew that my energy for the podcast was going to be on 10 because I totally detoxed before I got on there. And that's scheduled on my calendar too. I get off work on 3 on Saturdays, and we usually record at 5. And so um, from 3 to 5 on my schedule, it says decompress for podcast. And I have it set weekly for that. So that's extremely helpful to make sure that I'm coming into this space, like not just running from one thing to the next thing, because
Yeah, you don't want that.
time gets away from us. So rest is important.
Yeah, it'll mess up your flow. Gosh darn it, you said something I wanted to touch on. Now I can't remember. I'm having a brain fart. But
Schedule.
yes, definitely. Please schedule your self care. Please schedule your rest. We felt that that was important. I'm gonna go ahead and pause so we can say rest in peace to the Queen, one of the most influential African American women, black women, beautiful women, to ever grace the world of acting, among some of the things. And she has a book out, Miss Cicely Tyson. I believe she was 96.
Yes.
Whew. Could you imagine?
She, yeah, I had a whole like service for myself last night.
Okay.
Like,
I didn't even know it. I was on Clubhouse when I heard about it. Like we were talking to somebody said it. I was like, "Yo, man, stop playing."
yeah.
But yeah, and I mean, not to we're gonna continue to talk about her as well, but also rest in peace to Larry King.
No, Larry King died. Oh my god. Oh my god. You were supposed to put that on the keep. I didn't know that.
That was he. I think he passed before her actually.
Dang, what world have I been in?
Um, well, so
I mean, Larry touched me. This sounds like just like cult. Like, okay, it's pop culture, but I didn't know that he died. But yeah, we gotta go back to Sicily because I got some things.
well,
to say
I mean, and this is not trying to be funny, y'all, but I mean, my social media circle is very black, so they might have mentioned him, but they're not going. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to talk about him like when a black person dies. So that's probably that
Right.
might honestly be why you missed it. But his wasn't too long. I want to say his was definitely was before hers, but it was quite recent.
Dang. R.I.P.
I think it was maybe like I don't know. I think it was like the 23rd or something like that. Oh man, yeah.
Somebody else?
No. I was just making sure. I was making sure I had my. I don't have the date, but it was within the last week or so. It was very recent. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to feel like I broke the news.
Yeah, you did.
I
But
thought
it's
you
okay.
knew. Yeah.
I did not. It is okay.
I gotta.
But yeah.
I want to touch on something Uncle Charlemagne the God said. Shout out to the Breakfast Club. He was talking about how important it is now when we look at those people, when we have those people, those older people around who have been through things and seen things, like some of the stuff we study and we talk about, those people who actually lived it. It's great to cherish them, and to learn from them, because once they pass on, and even before they pass on, like, we're carrying the torch. You know what I'm saying? Those are like some of those trailblazers. Like Larry King
Yeah.
was like, he was a trailblazer in the world of news. You know what I'm saying? Just like Cicely Tyson was a trailblazer in the world of acting, and she was very particular about her parts and didn't she advocated against people, casting black people in demeaning roles and things of that nature. Um, yeah, and just
Her grace, her elegance, and
yes,
style, and it was just so many pieces of her personality that I think are very legacy. Um, I don't know. To me, going back to passing the torch. I look at her and I just feel like, man, that's the ideal life. That's the life I want to live. Like, and not just because I'm not just talking about fame and fortune. It is the ultimate goal is to be your authentic self, to live out your purpose, like, and enjoy the work that you do, the work that you produce, to pull somebody up, to provide some level of access for them to do the same,
hmm
and to do it authentically. Like, and I feel like she did all of that. Like, when I look at her first IMDb,
hmm
the first one was 1951. So you were relevant from 1951 to 2021, and I mean every role. And you're 96, and you just put out a movie last year.
yeah, and I think she just dropped a book recently too.
The book came out like 3 days ago, the
Yeah,
26th. No,
it,
I'm sorry, 6 days ago. So her book released on the 26th, and she had made mention, it looked like hours before that, before she passed, like, so excited for my book to come out.
yeah, she did an
So
interview with Gayle King not recently as well. Man, and she has so much life. Like,
that
she wasn't no old
old
96. She wasn't
woman,
no
like,
I'm 96. She was like, hey y'all, like I'm like, okay. That's why it's so shocking. It's like, yo, you was just like a ray of sunshine. It wasn't like you had been sick or anything that we know of. I
right.
don't even know what the cause is. I don't dig into all that.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it's unknown right now, but
yeah.
it, whatever. I
How
mean, you gave
fulfilling.
a full life,
Yeah.
96, and still
96.
working. Like, I want to be like that. Like, I know a lot of people are like, when you do the work that brings you passion,
Yes.
like, it's fun and
It's
it's
fun.
enjoyable.
It don't feel
And
like
it,
work.
like, this doesn't ever feel like work to me.
What?
Being on the podcast, like,
It
I
does
could
it.
talk all day, I can engage all day. Like, yeah, there's times where we naturally just want to, like, lay on the couch and just
Mm-hmm.
chill for a second. But once we're doing it, like, I feel like you probably are gonna feel better when you get off of the interview. I mean, when we finish recording,
I am because I'm gonna go to
because
sleep.
it always brings you joy to do this. Like, you talk a lot of shit,
Who,
but
me?
yeah, the owl.
I don't know how I feel
But
about that
you
statement.
enjoy doing it. And I
That's
think
true.
that when you find something that you enjoy, that's why I always push people to find that thing. And everybody thinks that, there's a James Baldwin. I'm like getting off in my tangents,
Get
but
on a
there's a
tangent. Get on it. Tell
James Baldwin, the fire, the fire next time. Let's see, James Baldwin, the fire next time, I think is what it's called. Um, and he was saying, oh God, I lost the quote. I did all of that just to lose the quote. The fire next time. But he was saying, like, um, I think it was something along the lines of pushing through that passion. I can't remember the exact quote. It'll come back to me later. But when you are really passionate and doing the work, this is what you live to do. Like, you want to have that type of joy and enthusiasm, and
them.
it keeps you motivated. It doesn't. I think don't be tricked by um he said, don't fall into the illusion of like what the white man wants you to be. And he was talking, he wrote this book back in the 70s. So it was such a relevant statement because, and when I say the white man, obviously we know that there's good white people out there. I service a lot of
Right.
them. But we're talking about white supremacy, that closed-minded concept.
Mm-hmm.
And don't fall victim, and he says it like basically don't believe what they want you to think about yourself. And he writes his letter to his nephew who was named after him, and just about that imagery. Like that's when we die. We die as black kings and queens when we feed into these narratives. And I think that we feed into the narrative of that when people say must be nice, like you just have to work. Like, no, you don't just have to work. We all are working jobs. Like, some of us are entrepreneurs, some of us work for employers. But either way you choose, whatever your channel, you don't just have to do it. Because there's some people not happy being an entrepreneur. And there's some people not happy being an employee. And so you have to find that joy and navigate to the thing that just really like fuels your flame and like gets you motivated and gives you hope and possibility. And I think I really am passionate that everybody has that ability and potential. Like
You gotta
you
make
can
room
find a
for it.
job that you like.
You have to make room for it too. Like, and it's not for everybody. It's not for everyone to enjoy, and it's not for everyone to understand. Like, I love gaming. Like, I make time for gaming. Typically on Saturdays, I guess me and the homies are a little tired and burnt out. We will game for like 6-7 straight hours on weekends. Why? Because we can. Like, we game very hard, but it's relaxing, it's fun. I'm passionate about it. I love the conversations I get to have with people. I love to see the creativity from the developers. I love discovering new things, and it gives me a sense of achievement. I don't care what anyone thinks about it. It's not for you to enjoy. It's for me to enjoy. Like, I didn't ask you for your opinion on it. And just like with podcasting, we make time for this. It's fun. It's enjoyable. Like you said earlier, it doesn't feel like work. I make time for it. This is on my schedule. I cannot tell you how many times someone said, "What you doing tonight? You got anything to do?" Yes, I have to record my podcast, or I have to edit an episode, or I have to work on something for my podcast. It's a real thing. Like, I made a space for it so people know when they talk to me, when I say, I got to do something, oh, he's serious about that. Oh, that's his thing. Like, that's what people think of when they think of Rob. Rob's a teacher. He plays video games. He podcasts. Like, some people still remember me DJing, but I ain't did that since '88. But
88, boy.
I'm not doing this with you. But
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, passion. Follow your passion, y'all.
Speaking of following your passion, go ahead.
And Cicely followed her passion. Larry followed his passion. The people, everybody that we are enthusiastic and we like a lot, we like them not because they have something different. Well, they do have something different. They're authentic, but we like them because they followed their passion, and you like seeing the passion.
Yep.
Like, I like Beyonce because Beyonce is out here giving us a show passionately and not just singing a song like she was at what's the word? Like the talent show. Like, it's fueled with, and even a talent show artist, you will be engaged with them when they are passionate about it and they're trying to get to that level of Beyonce because they're coming with a certain fire, like, in that. So I'm sure you can hear in my voice when I get passionate because I get like, oh, I want you to hear this. I want you to know this. Like, you can do it too. It's not just me, and it's not just Rob. And like, yeah, that's a real thing. So, passion. Be passionate. If you're not passionate, tap into it. Figure out what that looks like. I'm done.
Ladies and gentlemen, there has been an inauguration. We have a new president.
Segue.
We have a new vice president. Because remember, we kept having technical issues when we were trying to record this episode. So we had been talking about this, y'all. We have not been under a rock, but we were having technical issues, which I've actually since fixed. And yeah, history has been made again.
Again. We talk first of all, so everyone, we had like 3 4 recordings of an episode specifically around the inauguration. Or was it?
The storming of the Capitol too.
Yeah, like it wasn't the inauguration; it was the storming of the Capitol. That's what it was. And so we were, I mean, passionately giving our all. Take number 372, and none of it worked. So
Nah.
apparently the universe did not want us to talk about that with you guys. Rob didn't want to do it in the beginning anyway, but then he warmed up and we were doing it.
Terrorists. That's why you got snatched off them fucking flights and you're losing your
Oh,
jobs.
he ready to talk about it today.
I'm not, but I because now, it's funny now because I see the consequences. Y'all are terrorists, but getting snatched off the flight talking about what I did. What you did? Huh? Y'all spreading corona all throughout the Capitol building, about to have my taxes going up because of increased security.
Uh-oh, Rob is mad.
We paying for that.
Uh-oh.
Just understand, those of you rooting for them, we gonna end up paying for it in the end. But anyway, fuck them and fuck all that. We have a new administration. The inauguration was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Y'all stop
Gorgeous.
posting Bernie everywhere.
Yeah, that was funny. Bernie was a vibe.
Bernie was definitely a vibe. Bernie's sitting there like, I'll see you in 4 years.
Yeah. Bernie was like, this is some bull.
Yes.
But I would be well remiss if I did not go on the record for this episode to like have another moment of silence for the slayage of Mrs. Michelle Obama. So as I was so effortlessly saying, we cannot get into we had to pause because there was a slight delay of some sort. However, we have to mention Michelle Obama. Like, the level of slayage here, I don't think we've seen it before.
We'll
Like,
never see it again.
like I feel it froze again.
No, I say we'll never see that again.
No. Because all the ancestors, all the former queens, all the ancestors lined up and they took their hands and they fanned Michelle with nothing but regalness as she got out of that car. Like, her outfit, the color, the intensity of that maroon wine with that gold belt, the slayage of every curl in her hair. It was creme de la creme of femininity, of class, of regalness, elegance. It was just slayage. Like, and as I was saying before when I got cut off, there are certain looks that go down forever in history. Like, for example, we all know Beyonce's Single Ladies in the Leotard. It created a whole genre. Beyonce became known for her leotards. You have Jennifer Lopez and her green Versace dress that she wore with, I think, P. Diddy. You have like Marilyn Monroe, like Farrah Fawcett hair. All of these iconic looks. Michelle Obama in that coat, the Matrix coat with the gold belt. I can go on. I sound like groupie of the century, but I do not care.
Well, you'll be working with her, so don't.
Amen. I receive it.
It's already happened. You just don't know
It is done.
The phone call is made. The email is sent. And you'll respond.
Yeah. They are talking about me in rooms I have yet to enter.
Exactly. They're listening to this episode.
Hey.
I want to definitely shout out Amanda Gorman, the 22-year-old poet who took the stage. And, at 20, look at what you're doing at 22 years old. You want to know what I was doing at 22 years old? I'm ashamed to say it. That's what that's what I was doing when I was 22 years old. I wasn't at no inauguration. I'll tell you that. But
and that's the thing, when you're going again, following your passion, and doing it with passion, following the thing. Don't do it mediocrely. That's not a word, I don't think. But you know what I mean.
With
You don't want
mediocrity.
to just be doing
Yeah.
it. You want to do it passionately so that it commands the attention of others. Like it, when you pour your soul into it, people can feel it.
Young.
Everybody gets something. Everybody picks up on a little bit different of the layers of it.
Hmm.
And I mean, it's clear her articulation. That wasn't just because she's a poet. That's not. We're not talking about Walmart like, oh, it just came in the pack. No, I created this pack. I
Hmm.
curated this pack. Every piece of that delivery, every staccato, like all of that is emphasis, like on certain words. Her hand movement, its inflection, like it was meant to draw us in, and I think that it was well intentioned, and it was a lot of intention, a lot of effort, a lot of practice, a lot of failure, probably at somewhere at some point of tongue tiedness. But yeah, sis did it.
Youngest inaugural poet in U.S. history.
They were calling her baby Angelou.
Oh, what? There was some other history made. What was that other piece of history that was made? I think it had something to do with the vice president, Jessica. Could you?
Right, that we didn't even talk about.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we talked about.
Go ahead, Queen. Go ahead, Queen.
No, I have completely ran out with
Oh my
Michelle,
gosh.
but the first Black and South Asian Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris. Incredible.
Kamala Harris, also part of the D9 family.
Yes.
Um,
Alpha, 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 Kappa, Alpha. My tongue gets tied saying that because I, sorry guys. Yes, definitely D9, but I haven't practiced that, so therefore, but yes,
yes,
it was beautiful to watch. I felt like it was so much, it is a stark difference at the level of diversity at
yes.
inauguration
Even
in comparison.
after the people that Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, Joe Biden is appointing at certain positions, but continue. I'm sorry.
No, I mean it was just good to watch. It wasn't a stark white male and their wives event, and I think that that's not what the United States looks like. It is a melting pot. It is a pot of color. I mean, we are gumbo. Like it's like ooh, a okra, ooh, a crab leg, ooh, a shrimp, ooh, tomato. That is what the United States is made out of, and we have to embrace that and
Yeah.
rid ourselves of this toxicity and continue. I mean, it's not a blink of the eye or just something that's going to happen overnight because like we have to be intentional about that. We have to be intentional, like to want to end this era of our history. And
Please.
I'm telling y'all, everybody out here, James Baldwin, he is a tough read, but he is definitely a leveling up read. And I say tough meaning I love his vocabulary, his emphasis on words, the way some of the pages kind of it's almost like reading a play and you can see it. But what I love about him is he's so relevant right now. And so
Mhm.
between 2020 and 2021, I've been reading a lot of his books, and they're all very poignant and very relevant. I guess that's the best word that I can think of how we must think of ourselves, how we must require, and what it requires of other people. Like it requires you not to be cowardly. It requires you to
Facts.
face if it's difficult for you to talk about it, then imagine how difficult it is to experience it, to
Mm.
feel it, to live with it. And there were several different things in his books that he brings and paints such color to that are still happening and it's as if he wrote the book yesterday. Like and
Sheesh.
nothing so much has not changed. So I love his literature. Like yeah. So shout out. Yeah, like James Baldwin, shout out to him.
Shout out to James
Another
Baldwin.
ancestor. We are
Wait,
just we our ancestors, when you tap in, honey, they have you feeling like you can do anything.
I do have to point out one thing that was absolutely filthy and disgusting. The former president not showing up and
Uh, we can
not
talk.
having the sort of passing of the torch, pleasantries of them walking down the steps. They had to do it with the the vice president, which is trash. But history has been made. Hate it or love it, it's made. We have 4 years of a new administration. I'm praying that there is more COVID relief,
Yeah.
just relief in general. The climate change. We just need a cultural climate change in general. The hate needs to go, man. The blatant racism, the representation of the United States. Say what you want, but other countries' websites, when people were trying to apply for citizenships to other countries, were shut down because so many people were disgusted with the last election. And I know that I'm gonna have to unfriend some people. I already see people posting, making comments about some of the decisions being made about Joe Biden, and those same people never said one thing about the former president's decision in a 4 year span. Joe Biden's been in office what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and people have already reposting and talking shit. And I'm like, wow, I wonder how good you were at your job when you first got it in week number 3. But I digress.
Yeah.
History has been made. It is done. Shout out to everyone who got up, got out, and voted. Shout out to everyone who believes in voting. Some people don't believe in voting, but for the first time in a long time, states that were typically Republican became Democratic states. So your vote does matter. Your vote does count. And the last thing I want to say on this, and I got nothing else, is really think about who you are and what you represent. Um, it was beautiful to see the Obama family and the way that he carried out his presidency. And I cannot wait to see the same thing for Kamala Harris. I hope she gets more exposure and more light shown on her than the typical vice president does. Not to discount Joe Biden, but it is highly important that our children and the people coming after us see people that look like them in certain positions. They need to see it. Seeing is definitely believing, and when you see it, it lights a different type of fire. You know that that is the possibility. Yo, that can happen. How you know it can happen? Because it's happening right now. That is important. I also want y'all to carry that with you when you're out in the world, whatever it is that you're doing. Somebody's watching. Somebody younger than you, someone coming behind you is watching. Now I know some people don't give a F, but there are some people that do. So I just want you to carry that with you. And I'm just happy. I feel better. I'm gonna pray for them.
Amen.
And I'm gonna pray for this country. But that is all I have. Do you have anything else you need to touch on? Co-host with
I
the most.
don't. I just want it's January the 30th and 1 month down in 2021.
Dang.
And that's crazy to think about.
That's quick.
But time is of the essence. Seize it. Use it. Don't let, it's not too late. It's well, at the time of this recording is that, but by the time you guys hear it, we'll be in February. And yeah, I just think we just keep waiting. And that's what we were supposed to learn. I think everybody was supposed to learn that in 2020.
Yes.
There's no waiting. There's no
Yes.
more waiting. The time is now. Time is now to let go, or the time is now to push forward. You know what that looks like in your life. The time is now to rest and not work your body down to a pulp when you can't do some of the things. So figuring out what that looks like for you, and just really just getting real with yourself and taking advantage of this moment, because we're here.
We're definitely here. 2 quick things. I lied. 2 quick things.
Well, I was gonna say that you added to your list. You edited really fast.
No, I didn't add anything. I forgot. Our new affiliate and our app of the week, or our tip of the week, is JotForms. So I just want to shout out JotForms again. Check the link in the description. If you have a business that requires information from people, whether it's an intake survey, whether it's a questionnaire, whether it's a poll, whether it's just feedback in general, and you need that service automated, you need a quick, easy way for people to digest it, please, please, please utilize JotForms. Shout out again to Natasha Carter of the HBCU podcast. When I booked with her, she sent it to me, and that's how I booked my interview and filled out my information. And when she put me on, I said, oh my gosh, this makes my life so much easier, and it's just well managed. The app is beautiful, simple, easy to use. Creating forms is simple, easy to use. So I just wanted to definitely shout them out. So all you business owners out there, or people just getting started, if you think you're going to be in a position where you're going to need to get feedback from people, JotForms is a quick, simple, easy way to do it. And lastly, I challenge y'all. I challenge you to be uncomfortable this year, and I challenge you.
I'm sorry.
Oh, what you about to say?
Nothing. I was gonna piggyback on JotForm. And just say that, yeah, what you were saying, but it's also what I use in the studio as well. So it's been
have you
beneficial.
been using it? It's good.
Yes, and what I love for next level entrepreneurship is that you can link it with Pipedrive, which is a CRM.
Oh.
So yeah, you can get some data there, and I have mine linked, so it allows for making sure that you're managing your client base well. So both of those, another system.
I challenge you to not be the smartest person in the room all the time. I challenge all of y'all. I was on Clubhouse and I was having a hilarious conversation with people, and then two of the homies started talking about this whole stock thing that was happening with GameStop and AMC. Then they started talking about cryptocurrency, and before I knew it, we were the only three in the room. I guess everyone was kind of tapping out. It was late, but I stayed and talked with them for like an hour. And I learned so much because I was asking questions because I didn't know shizzle. And I found out some very important information. I found out more about buying it and more about protecting it once I buy it. I bet most of you have never heard of a digital wallet before. Bet it. You haven't heard of it. That's how you protect your cryptocurrency. It's very serious, and I'm actually going to dive into researching that some more. But that came from me being willing to be uncomfortable and say, hey, I don't know anything about this. Tell me what that is. What do you mean? What is this? What's the website? Oh, let me read this. Or what about this? Or what does this mean? And when I find someone willing to feed me like that, oh, we're going to talk. Like, they gave it up, and I was like, oh, I appreciate that, because I own Bitcoin. I own cryptocurrency. I ain't really know what it was or what I understood anything about it, but I was just like, I see this everywhere, and I feel like this is going to be the wave of the future, so let me just get some just in case. And now that I have some, I'm like, all right, I need to learn about it. And it doesn't take a lot. You can buy cryptocurrency. You can buy it in pieces. You don't have to buy an entire share. You can buy a portion of a share. So it doesn't cost, you can buy $1 worth, $5 worth. But it's something I'm going to learn about, and I learned more about it because I decided that I don't have to be the smartest person in the room. But there's someone out there who truly has more knowledge than me. I'm willing to listen. But on top of that, do your own research. And one of them definitely said that. He said, hey, this is what I think, this is how I feel, but I'm always going to encourage you to do your own research. All right, now I'm actually done. You can follow us, FME_podcast on Instagram. Join the Facebook group, From My Experience Podcast. Also, like the Facebook page of the same name. You can follow me personally, Complete_Vision. And you can also follow the beautiful, the wonderful, the soulful co-host with the most, Jessica Fountain. Where can they follow you?
You can find me. My personal page is at Exposure, EXPOZHER, which is my blog page, as well as at Lash and Soul if you're in the Dallas Plano area for beauty and wellness needs, and that is at Lash, LASHAND, Soul, SOUL.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourself physically, mentally, financially,
and spiritually.
We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.